Cody here again with another video. This is going to be another Vinyl Finds video, and it's going to be kind of like a hybrid between Vinyl Finds, the last Vinyl Finds video I did, and a new one. I do have some new stuff to show, but I'm going to re-show the stuff I showed in the previous Vinyl Finds video. Just I don't really like how that one came out. It was kind of dark and grainy and hard to see. So if you watched that video, thanks for watching it, but I mean, you could just watch this video, but I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did about the albums I'm going to re-show. If you've already seen it, you don't want to go through that. But my computer's back up and running again. I got everything up 100% working again, so I got it fixed. I somehow managed to fix it myself, but so that's good. I definitely hope that I don't have a problem again with the computer anytime soon, but I got it up and running, so I'm just going to go straight through these, and I'm going to go through the ones I showed in the last video. I'm going to go through them kind of rather quickly, and I really don't want to talk too much about them. The first one is Brian May and Friends. It's Brian May, of course, from Queen. It was just a side project he did with, like, Eddie Van Halen plays with it on him. It's a solid album. There's only 3 songs on it. The songs are relatively long, though, still like probably a 30-minute album altogether. But really fun album to listen to. And then another album that I showed in the last one's Spin Doctors, Pocket Full of Kryptonite. This is their first studio album, second album. I think their first one being a live album. Spin Doctors is just an underrated band. I really enjoy them. I really love this album in particular. And this is a UK pressing. This album actually never came out in the US until, like, I think just a year or two ago. And I've never been able to actually find a reissue of that one, so I'm definitely glad to have an original one. And then another one, David Bowie Heroes. David Bowie album that I had been searching for a long time, and it's not that it's necessarily hard to come by or hard to find, but I never did come across it until just recently. It's another album I'm really happy to add to the collection, though. And then in the last video I showed these albums. I mean, I found the next 3 I found at a antique mall, and with my friend Derek, we went to an antique mall about a week or 2 ago, and I found these ones. The first one being Violent Femmes, their first album. Another album that I was really been searching for a long time, and I was just glad to come across it out in the open. There's a number of times that I was thinking about purchasing it online, and I never pulled the trigger because it was always too expensive, and so I'm glad I waited. But I mean, of course, Blister in the Sun, huge song. They're probably the biggest hit. I mean, I hear it on the radio all the time still. It's just all around, though, a solid album. Highly recommend picking this up if you ever come across it out in the open. It's a really great album. And then also I found Motorhead live, No Sleep Till Hammersmith. It's just a solid live Motorhead album. It's just awesome. And then the next one is Scream. It's a compilation album. I mainly just got this one for one song, and it was Jane's Addiction, Pigs and Zen. It was like an early demo version of that song that I put on here. The other bands I've never really listened to, and I still haven't gotten a chance to fully listen to this entire album, but I'm sure it's probably not bad. But the main reason I got it was for the Jane's Addiction song. Then Radiohead, Pablo Honey. This is a 1993 UK pressing of this album. Found this one at a music store called Luna Music. It's about probably 30 miles away from me or so, maybe a little bit more. Pretty cool record store. They do have a Discogs page if you want to check out some of their stuff they have on there. I don't think they have their entire inventory on there, but they do have a lot of stuff on there. Pretty fair prices. Some of their used stuff was kind of like the prices they had on some of their newer albums, though, were really pretty fair. Actually, cheaper than some retail stores. It's kind of weird. Then I also picked up an original copy of Pearl Jam Versus. I've been kind of on a Pearl Jam kick lately. They're just a great band, and there's some Pearl Jam albums that I've never only listened to once or twice, but I mean, this one I'm very familiar with. Probably one of my favorite Pearl Jam albums. I mean, just so many great songs on here. Go, Animal, Daughter, Glorify G, which is probably one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. Descendant, WMA, Blood, Rearview Mirror. Just another awesome song by them. Rats, Elderly Woman Behind the Counter in a Small Town, Leash, Indifference. Just a solid album. This is, like I said, an original U.S. copy of this album. And then the last album I showed and picked up and showed in the last video was the 2011 Beatology, Pearl Jam Beatology reissue that came out in 2011. And if you remember my last video, I said if I ever came across an original one, I would pick it up. But guess what? Just yesterday, I came across an original one of this album for a really good price. And of course, I bought it. It's got the original book in it. It's got the original sleeve in it. And the book right there, all intact. It's just in great shape. So now I have the reissue and the original. I have not listened to this one yet, so we'll see which one sounds better. But can't have too many copies of this album, I guess. I actually have it on the original CD as well. But Vitalogy is just a great album by Pearl Jam. I mean, of course, everyone knows Better Man. That's probably one of Pearl Jam's biggest songs. But that is all the stuff that I showed in the last video. Now moving on to some newer things that I actually just got. The first one being I got a Half Price Books the other day. It's Fresh Cream. Cream's first one. This is the U.S. version. I got this for like $2. Can't go wrong with Cream. Of course, Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, all those guys. It's just Jack Bruce. Can't forget Jack Bruce. But I mean, you can't go wrong with Cream. What else can you say about Cream? You can't go wrong with Cream. And then I also picked up a 45 the other day, kind of going on with the Pearl Jam theme. It's the one that came out at Record Store Day, I think 2-3 years ago. I think it came out in 2011. That kind of corresponded with the reissue of Versus and Vitalogy. But it is the 7-inch of Immortality by Pearl Jam, and the B-side it has the Frogs doing Rear View Mirror, which I love the Frogs version of that song too. It's just as good as the Pearl Jam song. It's different. It's more like psychedelic sounding, but I mean it's definitely awesome. I recommend going to YouTube and looking up the Frogs Rear View Mirror and listening to that song, because their version is pretty cool, kind of like trippy. And I got 2 more albums to show before I can wrap this up. These are 2 ones that I was waiting on eBay and Discogs, and like I said in my last video. One of them, which is this one, Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication. This is the 2012-13 reissue. I can't remember what year it was actually reissued. It originally came out in 1999. This is one that I actually was kind of wanting to get for a while, and everywhere I looked and found it at brand new, it was like $40. I ended up getting this one for like a little bit more than $20, so it was like half the price. But there was a kind of a problem with it. The company that I ordered it from was like I think it was a record store out in Canada, and they emailed me like 2 days after I ordered it and said that the albums were damaged, and I could either cancel my order or wait for them to get more in. I patiently waited. It took like almost a month to get to me, but it was definitely worth it. I mean, it plays fine, it plays great. It was brand new, steel sealed, and I can kind of beat the price. I didn't want to pay $40 for it. I don't think it was worth $40, but paying like $22 for it, wow, why not? And the last album I'm going to show is Mother Love Bone, and this is not an original. This is a 2012 or 13 unofficial release, a bootleg essentially, that came out in like Holland. And I mean, this is a band. This is pretty much the early origins of Pearl Jam, if you will. I mean, if there was no Mother Love Bone, there would be no Pearl Jam. This is the only album they ever came out with before Andy Wood, the original lead singer of Mother Love Bone, passed away. And I mean, it's just a solid album. This is one that I've been wanting for a while. And an original copy of this album goes for like hundreds of dollars. And so I wasn't going to spend hundreds of dollars on it, but figured I'd get the bootleg, and hopefully it does not sound that bad. But I did play some of it the other day, and it didn't sound terrible. But it's also on this like white marbled vinyl. It does have custom label too with the Mother Love Bone, if you can see right there. It looks really cool. But yeah, it's like Mother Love Bone though. If, kind of makes you wonder what would happen to like Pearl Jam if Andy Wood would have never have died. You'd like to think that if he never would have died, that Mother Love Bone would have went on and become a huge thing, and same with Pearl Jam. But one of those things, I mean, he died, and we got the Temple of the Dog album out of it. We got Pearl Jam out of it with Eddie Vedder, later up joining with several of the members of Mother Love Bone. But that's definitely just a great album. Andy Wood was a great vocalist. I mean, if you've never heard of Mother Love Bone, just another band to look up and listen to him, because I mean, kind of reminds me, his voice kind of reminds me of Axl Rose a little bit. But solid album. Highly recommend it if you ever come across it. I mean, even the bootleg. I mean, I know the original one is pretty pricey, but if you come across that one for a good price, I would definitely snatch it up. But that's all the final finds I have right now. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and I give all those 2 thumbs up for sure. And thanks again, guys, for watching.